This conference will now be recorded.
All right, it is September 27th, 5:30 p.m. We're in Village Hall for the Police Committee meeting. Present, we have Jason Ackerman, John Beaver, Chief White, Sergeant McCaff, and Julia Work. I'm calling the meeting to order at 5:30. Don't have any public comments, any conflict of interest on the things we're going to talk about tonight. Hearing none. The minutes up for approval. If you get a chance to look at those from the August 30th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes. I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor? Just as a group.
All right.
Sorry. Yeah. Welcome. Is there anything to report?
The only thing that I have to report is that we do have the job posting out for police officer, and we have not received any applications, but we have sent some out. The job has been posted on the blueline.com as well as the village website. See, is posted there with a global application.
Now, is Mike gone?
Yes.
21st was his last day.
Did you get straight into anything in the next interview?
No, because he was supposed to be here the 25th, and he made a scheduling error. He was supposed to start at Cherry Valley the 25th at 6 a.m. So no chance for me to get to him because he ended his shift on the 25th, so he was gone, or 21st he was gone. So. He did say in conversation I had with him, there's nothing with anything wrong here. He wanted a union for representation and there's a little more money over there. And I think he has a friend that kind of talked to him over there.
And how long has this been posted? Did you see that?
It was posted on 12 and closing date is 10.
Nothing you said so far?
Nothing. I've sent out applications and I haven't received anything back yet. I do know that there are a couple people that are friends of firefighters at Cops on Square that are interested in those applications that we sent.
I think I yielded a couple phone calls. I said, you need to fill out the applications. How many applicants there were, I don't know, and that shouldn't really matter. So, apply.
You can say none so far. All right, anything else from you, Nick?
Nope.
Out of the hospital and looking better, hopefully, a little better.
Yep.
All right, discussion items, the UTV ordinance. I'm sure everybody saw Mary's UTV ordinance, so it should be in the packet. I don't know if you've had a chance to look through it.
Looks like everything we talked about.
Yeah, I really didn't see any issues with it. I had one minor thing. The park district, I recall saying that they didn't want anyone on their paths, right, on the paved paths.
Right.
And I don't know if it matters, but in the ordinance.
It said something along the lines of being on staying on paid
Yeah.
services. Yeah, they do not limit like that.
But we're gonna put signs up.
It just says UTV shall not be operated on park district property except on paved roads within the property. So I didn't know if like exception of paths or something like that. Not a huge deal.
I would say, yeah.
Because this is the
My
ordinance, no
understanding was
question.
they don't want them anywhere in the property, so.
The park district was okay with it in the parking lot.
Yeah, and the parking lot is where that.
Well, yeah, but you say paid services, that's gonna include.
It said paved road.
Well, it says
Paved
roads.
road.
Well, parking lot's not a road.
Correct. So my question is people interpret that's all on our,
And we were gonna put signs on.
you were
the
going to put
paths,
signs.
Do not enter.
So maybe we just need to change roads to paths.
No, because they're saying
Oh,
except,
roads.
they're
Oh,
saying
that's
except
right.
unpaved roads.
You're right. It's kind of really except in parking lots, right? So we can change that. That was really all I saw. Did anybody see anything in any of it? There's the ordinance, there's the application. Everything that she said in the ordinance tied back to the application. I just made sure there was consistency among all the documents and everything was, so. Other than some cleanup, I mean, obviously it's a little messy, other than cleanup, the content I thought was.
Where was the partnership language at?
That was page 7. Under miscellaneous.
Yeah, under section 4 miscellaneous.
Item number 7, UTV shall not be operated on private property except on paved roads within the property. It shall not be operated on school district property.
So shall not be operated on park district property except for
Parking
paved
lot.
parking lots. That's what we're gonna change it to, I think.
So are we ready to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to push this to the full board for approval.
Or you can finalize it at that change.
Yeah, we gotta, get back to Mary Ann, if it's you, Jeff. For this change.
Chief,
You're talking about, I can go over here tomorrow, just say, if you wanna clarify some of that language to make sure that it don't go on the paths, paved paths that are in the park. She may have,
she talked to me Monday too, she'll make a final contract for it. She wanted to know.
so I'll address the concern with her about people considering a path as a roadway.
Yeah, she can make that change.
And how do we feel about the map? Is that gonna be our final map? Because my understanding is everyone that applies for a permit gets the ordinance, the map, and the application, and the indemnification. We need to do more work on the map.
Thought we decided that was okay the way it was.
Okay, can you explain this page of the map to me?
So a map shows the parts in red where they cannot be operated, is that what you're saying?
Yes, that was much easier.
Yeah, the issue is that the orientation it's not north, it's not up.
Right.
That's our, I wish it was, when you're looking on the computer, it's like,
But.
So
if
the light is south, you can't ride past that. Capital Park. Well, yeah, that's not south. I'm sorry.
north.
But the south is all red also. Oh, that's West State, never mind. Now I'm seeing-
Yeah, you gotta turn
Look
the
at it
map a
wrong
certain way.
You gotta,
And then we marked the prairie path as well. Don't forget.
Yes.
And then remember, this has got to pass for 90 days, let the county take care of their approval, and then.
I mean, it's not gonna be, we'll be ready by springtime.
And you might get some hardcore people on riding.
Do people run in the wintertime?
Sure.
You get those things that close cabs and heaters and all that. It'd be just as expensive as a 4-door sedan going down the road.
So we need you're making the motion?
Yep, I'll make a motion to move the UTV ordinance to full council. Full board approval.
The ordinance,
The
application.
indemnification of liability,
Yeah.
the application.
The entire UTV packet.
I will second.
all in favor? Okay.
Now, I do have another UTV. I talked to Chief White, I don't know if this is silly, so let me know if it is. To offset the, I know you had said there was people that maybe don't. I would like the permit fees, maybe even any ticket fines to go to the fireworks is a show of good faith of putting this, I know everything goes in the general fund, but we could, that way we could really say that this went to this, something good for the community. What do you think? Finance person.
You, as far as police, you're the one who's gonna bear the extra duty, so that I was thinking toward the police fund
It makes no
somehow,
difference to me. We don't,
I mean,
if you look at the permit fees and the fines that we write, a large percentage of that money goes towards the state of the law. Right now, at what's the speeding ticket right now? $154. We get about $30 of that.
oh, anyway, even
Right.
on a car.
Oh, so then put it back to fireworks, that would be the same.
The only thing we would get on would be your sticker fees.
Well, then just the permit fees, forget,
Yeah, well, I mean, whatever.
if that's the case.
The fines, any of the fines we get go from the general fund. It doesn't come to us. It doesn't come back to the police department, it goes from the general fund. If you can have them earmark it for violations for UTVs, that's fine. I don't know how many you're gonna get.
I hope we don't get that many of those and that the permit, so we can just say it as permit. I was trying to get,
No, I like it is.
I would say the permitting fees for UTVs, I mean, you're
And I
only
don't know,
talking a
it's
grand,
something.
2,000.
That
The
has
first
to be-
year, right, the first year is where we're gonna get to see it all.
Yeah.
It'll be the ones, the renewal years, we're not gonna see unless they come back with a new machine.
And is that something that has to be added in the ordinance, or that can just be? I can answer that tomorrow.
That might be its own, I don't know if it has to be an ordinance or a resolution.
Yeah, I don't know. I can.
it's just an idea I had, maybe to soften the blow.
So permit fees to the fireworks fund. Well, I would say we can make a motion, or we'll just bring it to the board and talk about it. And one of you two is gonna do these things up. What did you say? What's the rest? I forgot the rest.
That's all I had.
So we'll have 90 days then to do whatever's left on this checklist. I know we don't have a lot. I think some of the things that have been done, it's the signs, it's the permit stickers, it's the method of, I think, Nick, you had something in mind as far as logging the permits and all of that. So
Speed limit sign, I don't know what that takes. We never really nailed that down.
We can start a little bit
I didn't
there.
understand. That's right.
That, they're gonna have to, the board's gonna have to decide to make that 35.
But we do that in-house. That's not a something we go to, that's our road. and
As far as
we buy
I
it.
know, the jurisdiction of McNair Road, all the way out to Falconer Road.
It's supposed to be.
That's what I understand right at this point.
I just didn't know if that's
And I
how
don't-
speed limit signs.
I have never got into the aspect of changing a speed limit on a road, so I don't know what the process entails. It'll be something else I can ask Mary tomorrow.
didn't you look into that with somebody already or
The
no?
speed limit sign I did, I only asked in here. We thought it was gonna be not a big deal, but I just wanna make sure we get on that one in case it is a big deal.
Yeah.
I think when the state had control of Elida Street, they changed the speed limit sign down towards the corner. And somebody had to fit it.
Oh, right.
But now Elida Street's under our jurisdiction, so we can do what we want. If we want to drop the speed limit down from the
Oh,
corner.
you need some lights.
Yeah, the state had an issue with it. You can't,
That's
you
our.
just can't come in and change the speed limit on a state road. They have to do studies and all that stuff to see if the warrant dropping the speed limit to a certain speed. I think in municipality, I think they can just change it.
I've seen PEX change quite a bit. You know, they went
Within their jurisdiction, I think they have to act in that.
All right,
All right, Jason, are you gonna continue to work on the signage that we need then, and Chad, where that's something?
yes.
Let's see, school district inspection, what did we decide on the inspection of the UTVs? I think the ordinance actually says.
Yeah, and all we're inspecting for is
We
make
don't
sure
have,
that,
that's right, we don't have to inspect, I think is what we were in the
All they have to do is look for proper equipment, that's what's in the ordinance, my understanding.
And you and Kelly, I guess, confer and then decide if you're gonna, do the permit. Permit checklist, I don't know who's gonna get that one, if that's something that, I don't know if Kelly can take that on, or one of the people in her group. Which is basically, it's a checklist that makes it, there's a pull in, you're like, yep, it's got the antenna, yep, it's got the stop sign, yep, it's got the, I mean, just gonna help you guys
That's-
in a nice organized fashion, not spend 20 minutes with them.
So when it comes down to the stickers, what I decided easiest for us and for every year is you can get waterproof stickers from a major company for our stickers.
I can't remember if we talked about it.
We did. So it's the one where you can get your like your mailing labels, all your labels. You know, you go to Walmart, you can buy the printed package. Well, you can go to the website, and you can buy sheets of them for pennies to the dollar, and you can run through a company, put the logo on them, put a number, everything else. It'd be way cheaper, way easier than it is to source somebody for $500 to make us 100 stickers.
Yeah.
Well, $500 we can buy a new printer, And then for the dozen or so we're probably gonna get, it was just easier to go buy, 100 of these stickers and just, you can get them waterproof. We've been using for barcoding our inventory tools at work, so.
So you can like print them like in a different color every year?
You can,
We gotta do something.
or you just put a year on it.
Yeah.
Different text,
You can put-
background, I mean.
You could put the BOWUTV in the year.
Exactly. So by us doing it that way, we have way more control over what we do compared to every year having to outsource somebody to make us new stickers. Because all you're gonna get to is like, I just ordered 100 stickers because it's cheaper to buy 100 than it was to buy 20. But now I'm gonna get these other 80 stickers. So that way we're not having a bunch of waste. We just
Well, we want to, everything's coming out of community development, so if you want to, how you want to do that, if you want to order them, how's that work?
You want to do what?
should probably could order them right on Amazon.
Yeah, they could order something like that, I mean, the cost is gonna be next to nothing, right? They have their own spending limit.
Avery, they're Avery labels.
So just me order them on it.
Yeah.
That,
So right now, I can go to blank labels, let's see here, they have,
yeah, if you just send me what you're talking about.
there we go, ovals to art, but then you got waterproof labels and the metallic foil labels, they're all run through a laser printer and cut, color. Yeah. They got color.
I'll take care of that.
So,
And the size.
Alright, reading the log for the numbers, I think you already have that, or at least have it in your head, right? Do you wanna talk to Kelly about the permit checklist?
I
Will you talk
already
to her? Okay.
highlighted the checklist, and I can make one up real quick, just have the, register's name, have the checklist, check off each one, sign the name at the bottom.
We can also redo it.
Yeah, I mean, well, you have to go with what's required in this one. It takes
It's
10
not the
minutes,
environs.
it'd be 10 minutes to make a checklist out of the items,
Yeah, right.
there's only 9 items there. It's not like it's,
it's easy to do.
you have to have 40-inch pounds of torque on these nuts and bolts. Yeah, it's pretty simple to put a checklist together.
I always probably keep that checklist too with their application.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So really, there's not much more to do. It's the signs, it's the stickers, it's the permit checklist, it's
Your biggest,
the law.
the biggest hurdle is gonna be the signs. Because that's your most biggest expense and probably your more time consuming. Because you have to get them all.
Yeah, and I'll kick it to the, after the board. Then we just tell the county, and then, wait.
Now, remind me, on the UTV signs, is it like a UTV route signs in
Yeah.
places, or is it just no UTVs beyond this
I don't
point
have that.
signs? What are we
No,
gonna
it's
do?
a route, they're routes of I can't remember the color now. I think
Just like
because,
snowmobile routes?
because green is the walking and biking or whatever.
The private
I think
road.
I used brown. So they point, so take down insolvents. They point that you can only go that way around, or you can go straight to the subway. But it's a route of arrows
Okay,
where you can go, and it's also, you cannot go here,
Yeah.
signs.
and so how many are we talking in total, you know?
$2,500 worth, I don't remember. 17 maybe? Because I really made it, as you go around Snyder's, I made sure I had signs,
So it's all in
multiple
that
signs.
big critical area. You
That's
don't put them
most
all
of
over
the
the
signs.
place.
No, not around town. Because the map, you can ride anywhere on those roads that aren't red.
You basically
Down there is where I wanted
Yeah.
signs.
That's where the sticking point is.
So they
There
don't
and
go to
on-
the corners.
There and on the Prairie Path. Really sticking point. Places where you can't go. You don't need to put signs up where you can go, you need to put signs where you can't go.
Well, I was riding the other day, I don't remember where it was, I saw a UTV route as I was driving down some country road. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I think we're in good shape. We got that done fairly quickly.
Yes.
All right, so, which one of the two of you want to run the police committee items in the board meeting?
Oh,
Is that not-
actually, you won't be.
I won't be there.
Oh, you won't be here either. Oh, Jason. So, okay,
What, because that's going to board, and then we'll see what else we're taking.
Yeah.
Okay.
all right, comp time. We put this on basically as a carryover from last meeting, I believe, right? We talked about just retention of officers and so forth. And I think I had brought up to you that I was looking at my email at the handbooks we were working on back when I first started on the board. And in there, I found a version that had a whole comp time section that was deleted. But I had no notes as to why we didn't make the passage. Do you
I
remember?
don't know why.
It was because it's something.
Well, I think it was one of those things they didn't know how to track. It can be tracked fairly easily. I mean, it's not something that's extremely difficult. I'm sure the software that we have now can track that, because they've got, Kelly showed me a printout from the payroll software. You're gonna enter in for the SRO, overtime for the village, overtime, 3 different overtimes for the one officer. You know, overtime for the village, overtime for the school, and the other one, I can't remember. But just so they're entered in the right place, so it'd be the same way, you know, you could put CP and then enter the hours in, to count, you know, your CP, whatever, count time. You enter those hours in there, and it's not gonna be time that's paid until they take it.
And I talked to Sally Joe about this when we first discussed it last year. And she said that there is a way that the system can track.
It should be, it's a payroll software.
She said that she's never used it, but it can be.
Oh, so we do have a payroll software, because for a while there, I thought we were doing payroll on a huge spreadsheet. Do we have software?
She
on
does
that
it
now?
manually off the paper spread, but then it's entered in, when it's entered into the system, it's entered into a payroll system.
So why are we not using the payroll system that it's designed for?
Because this is the way we've always done it.
Because what?
This is the way we've always done it.
I hate that.
Yeah, I think, that's probably for the admin committee, but, yeah, for sure, because there's so much room for
Well, if you're
error.
gonna do this, you're gonna have to use it.
Well, I think there's a lot of capability in some of the software we have here that's not being used. I mean, it's just, we've never had a use for it, so it's never been used. I think if we have a use for it, it'll be used and it'll do what it's supposed to. I mean, it tracks sick time, it tracks vacation time. It
Your
tracks all
employees
that.
can get the pay raise when they're
Yeah,
full feed into our next concept that, you know.
We don't have to worry about what it calls on.
Yep.
So,
The day they get hired, you know.
in the policy as it was written, and I have to send this to all of you guys if you want, this is the old official handbook. So can I just read this quick paragraph and you guys tell me if this is what you think that you want. It says that the employee's request comp time may be elected in lieu of overtime. Comp time will be calculated at the rate of 1.5 hours for each hour of overtime worked. Comp time will be allowed to accumulate or be banked up to a total of 16 hours. If the banked comp time has not been used by December, it will be automatically paid out in cash at the employee rate on the date of pay or nearly accumulated.
And I think I will let them carry it over as long as they want.
We got a maximum of days though that you can carry over already.
Well, I think the whole idea is, number one, it should be more hours than 16. And we brought that up. I think 16 was based on 2 8-hour days. And the only people who work 8-hour days is him and I. Well, he doesn't, I do. So it would have, number one, have to be based on 12-hour days. And I would probably make it a minimum of at least 2 days.
I would honestly, 36 hours. I would think it's 4. That's,
Yeah, it doesn't make a difference to me. But you have to understand that if somebody decides to take comp time for 84 hours, that's just their own shift.
I think the reason they have it coming due in December is now you get a raise and now it's costing you more because the raise is the calculation now for this.
Well, see, there was a big snafu before the vacation time. Because at one time, if you had vacation time, you could turn it in for pay.
at any time, just cash out.
Just cash out hours.
And that was
I
before
think
we
that
had,
was found to be improper.
that's when
What
we
was
had
supposed to be done.
combined.
Yeah, PTO and sick time was together, but they found somebody, I don't remember who it was, they found that to be improper. For some reason or another, I don't know what it was. So that, part of that policy, we will do that, because guys get to the top of their vacation schedule, accrual, and say, well, I'll just cash out 2 weeks. And somehow, I don't remember where it came from, and maybe Roxanne had it or whatever. They said that you couldn't do that because.
Was it, I know one part of the discussion was people were not taking vacation and knew it was best for them to take time away from this job.
That's part
We
of
had
it
that
too.
conversation.
That's part of it
You just
too.
keep getting the money and not taking the mental break.
Right.
That's not good.
But we're not really having a problem with that now. It was years ago when people wouldn't take time off. People are taking time off now.
Because they're fully staffed, it makes it a lot easier.
Well, it was, we were. Yeah, people are taking their time off. In fact, they're getting close to their accrued time cap. And they're saying, well, I want to take some time off. They don't want to lose those
What
hours.
is the cap?
282?
232?
Okay, mine was 282.
Yeah, I think the only person that falls under that category is oh, maybe it's
242? It's in the handbook somewhere. Or it might have been in an old.
I guess it doesn't make a difference if you carry it over or not. It's a wash if they have for their comp time.
well,
Carry it over beyond their pay, I mean, it's on time.
yeah, because 2 days, in the grand scheme of
You know-
things, isn't really gonna do it, but if we say here's, you can bank up to a pay period, and suddenly they become the owner. They say, all right, it's gonna take some time off.
I mean, we could.
But we have a lot of sick time already for that.
We do, but we just recently had an officer who was also all over sick time.
Is it you?
It takes one injury, fall and break your foot, you're out for 6 months. You gotta work that.
He's out the gym and you break your wrist and suddenly you're sick.
Is there disability insurance for stuff like that here?
There is.
Yes, 65%.
So are you saying it would continue, or is that to accrue?
No.
Well,
that's
you
not the
would-
way- That's not the way they presented
What-
it.
That's not the way it's presented.
Once you reach
but you're-
he's talking about carrying it over.
Here, so basically, if they say.
So if you reach, say if we put the cap at 84, you can't go over 84, but it's the end of the year, you have 84, those 84 carry over. You can't add any more to it, you can just carry it over to the next year.
You still only get 84,
You
right?
get
So
84.
nobody can accrue it up and
No.
retire
No.
6 months early. No.
That's what sick days are.
So that's all. I mean, I had no issue, because you're talking pennies a dollar. You know, they worked the time, they earned it. If they want to take that time, you know, let's say you got to lose it by January 1st, now you earned it all right now. Let's say I want to use it all in February for vacation.
Well, and then you're gonna have people that accrue it throughout
You
the
know,
year.
they earned it, let them use it as.
Yeah, but they earned it at a rate, and then if you just let them
You
take it
are-
over and over, you're paying that 1.5
You
times
are-
the higher rate.
And that's why departments go to unions, because they're nitpicking, they're micromanaging that.
You got all this PTO time that we have, and I mean, we've changed the policies a lot, and they're, what is it, one PTO day a month sick time? Or
8
something?
hours, I think.
Or per week? What was it?
Oh, no, personal time off, it's,
Remember, you're representing the taxpayer.
And I understand, but
So
you're
you're
also,
saying-
you're talking dollars, you're talking pennies to the thousands. You're not using.
I know, but all I'm
$5
saying
million.
is you gotta look at this in the context of all the other policies that we have in place, as far as PTO, sick time, everything that they can accrue.
And I guess when I was at Public Works, I was able to carry my comp time.
well,
I didn't have to use
I
my
think,
time.
I think you have to look at it this way too. If they January one start to accrue, they accrue 84 hours. Before it gets towards the end of the year, they're gonna wanna use those hours and not lose. So you're gonna have a lot of people who are gonna want that time off at the end of the year.
Well,
Because
yeah,
they
we
have-
want them to take time.
No, I understand that, but you're only gonna be able to allow so many people off at a time.
And they know that, I mean, right?
But,
'Cause-
yeah, but you can tell them that till you're blue in the face. They're gonna say, well, I wanna schedule my people.
But if you don't lose it, it pays out, it says, this is what the policy says.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's gonna fall under the same pretense as paying out vacation.
Which we found.
That's why I
Well,
brought that,
maybe you think that's why this was all struck out.
it may be, I don't know why it was, but that's why I
Add
brought.
this to the Mary list,
Yeah,
since you're doing.
that's why I brought up the vacation thing, cash out hours, and they said, we can't do that. Would this fall on the same pretense?
Could you have it start when they use it again, or I guess it would anyway, huh? So that it didn't end up at the end of the year all the time?
Well, yeah, but see, our fiscal year's on calendar year, so. Yeah. Even if you start accruing it in May or June, or July, whatever, if they know they're gonna lose it by the end of December 31st, they're gonna take that time off, because they've already earned it. So it's gonna be a mad rush for everybody to wanna take time off before the end of the year.
So in the whole scheme of the benefits that officers get and that you're competing against, all that, is this a big deal?
It's that benefits us.
For some
due to the fact
people,
we're
it
not
is,
paying
yeah.
overtime.
Because you're getting into the type of people that want that work-life balance now, instead of people that, that let statutory comp time build up to the max and just never use it, never cash it in. Well, if they allow it to cash it in.
Well, I can tell you my last year, sheriff's office in Montana, I had comp time. I could accrue up to 164 hours of comp time, 168 a month. And I maxed it out probably by the middle of February, and then just took pay for all my overtime for that following year. When I left the sheriff's office, went to the city, they calculate how many hours you have on the job, figure out where you come in at as far as like the step pay and longevity go. I had a full year of overtime. So I walked in the door and said I had 3.5 years of service. I came in with 4.5 years of service because of the amount of overtime I received. Because I just let my comp time sit there in case I ever needed it. Never did. So it literally sat on the books from the day I got promoted in November and left the following December. And
So it's enough, they had a bucket of money to give you.
pretty much.
See, I
And
think
then
that's,
when you talk about money, and their comp time, we're not paying them overtime now. We're paying them straight time,
Well,
for time
for a
off.
time and a half.
But then if our,
For 1.5 if they're
if our department's up to the personnel ask,
yeah,
we're not paying that overtime for some of that shit.
as far as dollars and cents, it's gonna be this paid out the same either way.
Whether
You
they
can
take
have
the
your-
time
They're just,
or
huh?
whether they take the time.
Whether they
or
take
they-
work the time and a half, they work time and a half, and then, okay, I wanna use that time and a half as comp time, so it's 12 hours, so they're gonna get, what is it?
18 hours.
18 hours. and then they're gonna 18 hours off, so it's gonna pay out the same regardless of how
Yeah,
you look at it.
financially it's the same,
Yes.
if it's in the same.
And that would be one thing.
No, it could be completely different because it all depends on, is it your newest guy at the door working the overtime? Or is it your 28-year veteran working the
Right.
overtime?
No, but it's the same money to us,
Yeah.
if it's your
It's the
salary,
same amount of money being paid out.
yeah. It's your salary, we're either gonna, pay you time and a half, or we're gonna give you 1.5 times your regular pay on. It's the same numeric.
But then if you got to backtrack somebody to pay cover that shift because he's using his comp time later.
That was
That's
the
where
issue
it's
we
gonna
talked
cost
about.
you.
But
But that's where it just comes, you gotta just ignore some of that stuff. And you gotta look at the face of it. They
I mean,
need the time,
If
let them have the time. They want the comp time.
it boils down to if that's something, somebody looks at the job description and say, oh, they have comp.
Yeah,
If that's gonna sway their decision to come here or not. That's what you kind of have to look at. Is that a benefit that, number one, the village is willing to implement? And number two, is that a benefit that people are gonna see and say, yeah, this is worth me to try and come?
yeah, that's why I asked the question, how big a deal is this benefit?
I don't know.
I can tell you that our vacation time is not really a trend. Walking in the door the first 2 years old.
Yeah, and we talked about that in the admin meeting about changing that to 2 weeks.
It's kind of way adjusting these brackets. So I'm looking at right here, and the total time for a non-exempt employee is 252 hours. That's as much as they can.
252?
Yeah, cause I was at that all the time.
That's accumulated PTO, right?
No, that is just vacation. Total sick time is.
So 252 hours of earned vacation time, you can just, that's where they cap. If you don't take a vacation, then
Yep, 252 is hard to go. And sick time accrual, I think there's some on it.
It might be.
I think it
So
is.
252, how many weeks is that?
6 weeks.
Yeah, cause sick time is unlimited. You can keep accruing that throughout your whole career.
Yeah.
Because the whole idea with that is not gonna cost the village anything.
Because
Unless you take-
and we don't pay out at the end if they.
Right. So the only time the village has to pay for sick time is if they take the time off, take a sick day off. Otherwise, that accrues till the end of your career. You get credit through IMRF, and there's no money exchanging from the village to IMRF or the employee.
And
It's just credit.
how many hours a week are they earning or a month?
I think it's
isn't it an hour? Or that, an hour?
I can't remember exactly how it's broken down. 8 hours a month?
8 hours for regular full-time employees based on 40-hour work week, 8.4 hours for full-time non-exempt police officers.
So was it a day a month, basically?
8 hours a month?
Yes.
A day a month. 12 days.
Okay.
So 84 hours, right? 12 days, that's only 6 days. That's that.
So and this is, I know, but, I don't know, are you running admin?
I'm not running it, Frank runs it. But I'm on that, yes.
So, I know Frank sent that email from the IML conference.
Yeah, because you asked me about it too, what that was in regards to, and I think I sent you the link.
Yeah, and I forwarded it on to Frank when he started asking questions, I said, here, Adam, sign
I
it."
found the link, whatever the link I found, and basically, so I think you two are aware, stuff is changing, a lot of that has to do with part-time employees.
Which we can have at some point.
Which, they get earned time off.
Yes.
And that's per state statute, you work X amount of hours a week, you earn, basically what it was, you earn X amount of time off for every hour you work. It's like 0.25 or 0.33.
Yeah, never quit.
Whatever it is, I get, and I can't remember if they have to start with 40 hours.
Yeah.
I can't remember, I saw that in Frank's stuff, so they have to kind of dive deep into that, which part-time staff is gonna get 40 hours in the day they hire. You guys should get 40 hours. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Well, 40, yeah, you get a week.
Yeah, you
to start with those. So you get, depending on which week, it's either 48 or 36.
and that's where, you only gain 8 hours of sick time a month. That's where comp time comes in hand, because if you were a 4-month employee, and I just worked a bunch of overtime at the beginning of my career, I at least got 2 weeks worth of pay sitting there at comp time.
I think it's just a matter of working out the details to see if it really is something that people are looking as a benefit to work somewhere or not. I know
Definitely,
I think the sheriff's department does it, I think the city of Rockford does it.
it's definitely noticeable in the younger generation coming, because you see it at work, that they're not afraid to call in sick anymore.
And a lot of this comp time stuff is, my opinion, is based on larger agencies where these guys are forced back to work overtime shifts. They don't have a choice. So instead of taking that pay for time and a half, they say, I want comp time. So when they do get a chance to where they can take a day off, they use that comp time.
And they can't get forced back.
Right.
So typically, if you are off, in this scenario, you're off like the following day, following shift, you can't get forced back. So
And that, most of the extra shifts that work here are based on voluntary. They volunteer, or we ask them, hey, can you cover the shift? And they say yes. It's not, we don't force anybody back.
And when we're fully staffed, overtime is very.
Yeah.
And look at this year alone.
Yeah.
Our overtime numbers are down comparatively to previous years.
Are we doing this for all departments? Should this be, I mean, it's getting brought up in here and started in here, but how do you,
I
You
had
feel
it
better.
at Public Works. I was able to bank 2 weeks of Public Works, and I did Public Works for 8 years. So in the winter time, I would bank all my
That's what I'm
my
saying.
snow plowing
They
hours
have
and
a-
burn it in the summertime.
is that getting mentioned in public? I didn't know if it started here,
It
it's supposed
started
to
here
only
because
be
we had such
here.
a hard time recruiting
Right.
police officers, so we were putting a list together of what are we missing, what benefits could be added to the pie. Now you're telling me these are more for larger,
Well, I'm just
This is
saying,
what-
it's more advantageous for larger agencies
Yeah.
to don't keep getting forced back, but you can give it a
You
benefit.
can sit there, they can come in 2 months now, say, hey, we want to.
I mean, a lot of these are admin too, because it's,
That's what
it's
all
the
I'm getting
whole
at.
employee handbook, and I just think we have to keep in mind that, I know you guys are newer, I've been here a while, they have a lot of big changes
Sure.
to compensation, paid time off, all of this stuff. I think these two would agree, there's been a lot of positive changes. And we have to balance taxpayers with everybody here, right, to make sure everybody's happy, but.
And I think tonight, if you're gonna offer it to one department in the village, you have to offer it all.
That's what we
Yeah.
discussed last year.
It would have to be across the board.
That's when I think it
There's
kicks
really
out of here.
Old
and goes
two
to
departments,
admin.
or do Public Works.
You know, maybe we don't have to decide this in here.
Oh, no, it's not.
No,
it was
it'll
a
be something
discussion,
brought up.
right? 'Cause
Yeah, it
we
was just-
can't decide it in
We
here.
just talked about it. And I can send an email to Frank, say, hey, can we add compensatory time to the admin meeting?
And this is another, we keep talking about these, we call it, the ones where we're all put together. I mean, these are the
Cow or the
things, these are the
strategic
things that
planning?
the cow, I mean, these are the things that we need to talk
Yeah, that
about.
one's bigger than this, yeah.
So,
Maybe the new village administrator.
well, I think that will help.
So I'm gonna put a note on this for admin team. compensatory time. Right?
Yeah, but since you're calling Mary, if you can.
Yeah, I got
Just
that.
have her rack her brain, is
Yep.
it, why did it,
Yep.
was there something?
I'm sure she's probably got notes on it. That's kind of what I got out of it. If there was something about taxes or something about paying out. Yeah,
Basically,
Because you
it's
earned it.
time off.
you earned it here and it's paid out here, and maybe at a different rate. Yeah, I don't know how exactly it rolled out. But I remember they discontinued the practice of doing that.
Could have been a way of tracking it, though, too. If we keep everything by spreadsheet, that easily could be a way of tracking it.
Somebody should make sure of that too. That's admin as well. It does the software and admin.
Just one big master spreadsheet. From Excel 97.
Okay, moving on, that enough conversation for that, I don't know if I need to ask Mary about that.
Yeah.
Top there.
I will, I'll ask.
Step A.
Coming right up. Yeah, might as well give me that guy. I was gonna bring my contract in, but I forgot it. I'm just gonna go right to my PowerPoint just because I got slides in there. Easier just to keep going. So, I did not update this from the admin meeting from when we had it. So, step pay, reasons for it. Predictable pay for their future budgeting. All right, it keeps everything in line and keeps them, from skyrocketing, from the way we're doing it. I'll show you how that works. We have multiple step pay tiers. You have patrol officer, SRO, sergeant. Right now it's just one tier for patrol officer, but that could get broke down. So your SRO officer could potentially get a stipend for that. If that was the case, it's just, in sergeants, if he wasn't in a salary position, eventually was an hourly position, you have it. It's basic overtime. And how the steps typically work, make sure I'm grabbing the right mouse. You always do a slide over on the column on your anniversary date of hiring. That's a lot of time is based off of retirement, pensions, years of service. People are retired 20 years, they might do not want to wait that 3 months until January 1st to get that pay raise. It always usually happens on the anniversary in the public sector. I guess I can just start going. Step pay. Oh, perfect. Here we are. So what here is a basic 1 year look. So this is 2024 pay. I can't remember if this is the actual numbers for 2024 from the spreadsheet I emailed you. But right now, this is going to take into effect like a 3% CPI raise for this year. 3%, I believe the feds from July to July from 2022 to 2023 was a 3.2% cost of living raise. I think salary is going to run it for October and see what it actually is. But this bracket here is based off a 3% pay raise for what we approved last year for our officers. So entry level is going to rise 75 cents from $25, right? Because we got to keep up in line with everybody else out there. All right, we're going to come back to the board. Hey, we got to give our guys a $3 pay raise just to advertise getting the officers in the door. 1 year employee, after his 1 year, he's going to make $26.73, $26.78. Say that correct? And then you can keep going.
3% across the board then?
Yep, 3% across the board. So each one of these steps is 3%. They got hit with 3% raise. I'll bring into my next category.
Okay, wait, before you go on, so you've got 1 year, 2 year, then you have 3 to 4.
So basically what happened is, I'll go to my next slide for you. All right, so this is where it breaks it down. So this is my 2023 spreadsheet because I didn't want to sit there and refigure out how I did this over again. Oh, I should have had All right, got it. So what's going to happen here? So based off of, because I'm behind, so you gotta use a year. But we hired an officer this past January for reference, for example, right? We hired him at $25 an hour. I'm behind. So this is 2023. So we hired him at $25 an hour. All right, come January 1st, he's going to drop down to $26.50. This is, I think, is a 2% pay count. Our goal was every officer after 1 year was to get it down. And obviously, I got this spreadsheet kind of messed up a little bit. For my next one. Backtracked. I don't have the keyboard. Can you hit the back arrow for me?
Yeah.
One more.
So basically, this is, okay, what's throwing me off is I'm trying to follow the green. This is an example of an employee got hired on July 1st, okay? So my color scheme is throwing off here. is he got hired on July 1st. He starts at $25 an hour. On January 1st of 2023, he technically would have gotten his pay raise, whoever the CPI was, which is 2% for this year. Come July 1st, he's going to step over. He's going to drop down on his anniversary. I mean, in January, because we get the pay raise on the January 1st, right? Then he's going to come over one. He's going to slide down one. Now, come your 3-year, 4-year.
I ignorant plus. So what do you mean he's gonna
So-
go over and then down?
See if I can help.
Yep, nope.
So this is your starting pay, right? So when you move to 22 to 23, this is set up for 50 cents. So this is when you go, if my understanding is correct, this would be your increase after a year, right?
Nope,
Nope.
that's
And
your
then-
6 months.
okay,
That's
hold
your,
on. So this would be into the next year, it's 25.50, and then you would slide over one because they're year of service, right?
That's the
Correct.
anniversary.
correct, that's your anniversary.
anniversary date. So January 1st, you would go, this is incorrect, it'd be $1 now, but whatever.
No,
No, it's
You're
CPI
correct.
raise.
This is
It's
a
not
percentage?
Yeah.
Okay, so down is a percentage, so that January 1, that person would go from 25 to 25.50. After their first year of service, July of the next year, they would slide to 26.50. Right?
Yep.
When
January.
in
comes in.
January 1, the CPI falls into place again, it goes down to 27.01. When they hit the anniversary again, they slide over because it's in their second year, it's 28.09. Again, when CPI kicks in 2025, January 1, they go down to 28.65.
Correct.
And it works that way throughout. What happens when you get out here?
So you're getting a CPA raise and then you're getting the.
Your longevity.
On the,
Your longevity, yes.
Well, you're not getting it all
But
at
then it
once.
slows
You're not getting it
down.
all at once, it's separated. So what happens out here is years 7 and 10, you'll get that bump down,
Your CPI.
your CPI, but you don't move over.
So it slows up.
You only move over
Correct.
after year 10, and then you move over to the right. So you
Otherwise,
have,
it'd be a down.
you have like 5 and 6.
so
Okay,
you get
three,
more raises in the beginning and then you slow.
that was the idea, to try and bring people in, is to get the pay up as fast as possible within the first 5 to 6 years, and then it starts to taper off.
And then, but what it is, it's slowing your progression down. So the whole concept, imagine that was 5% every year. You know,
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
it's ridiculous. This brings it to a manageable.
So is this what you look like? I mean, something like this?
Yes,
kind of
yes, absolutely, absolutely. I didn't have it, so can you hit escape for me to get on the other side so I can get to these, to my folder? So in essence, come on, I want to change the name. So this is what we would adopt technically every year. The police department, this is based off a 3% CPI, okay? For the zoom in.
But you also have to understand that every year that goes by after this first year, that starting pay moves up as well.
Correct.
Right.
So what will happen is every year we'll have to adopt something like this. I was gonna bring my contract in, but every year is a new page for us. And what it is, it's just this column right here. And with a couple of the tiers, because we have 3 or 4 tiers in ours. And every year it's whatever we negotiate for our raise, right? So, which is, it's gonna be CPI at 3%. So next year, this bracket's gonna get hit with a 3% raise. And what that's going to do, move all these slots up, but also it's gonna keep us progressing, so we're not falling behind everybody
Right,
else.
so that first guy's raise is really just getting him or her to the same level as a new person would, because we adjusted that for inflation anyway.
Correct, he's still within his first year of an employment, okay? And then he would get his. So right here, so in essence, you can kind of see with the 2023, and you can see where I had the 2024, right below it. You know, this is my 3%. This includes the dollar raise plus a 3%. So they get a pretty hefty, and I can't remember if that was correct or not, what we wanted to do there.
What's that?
Right here. This is, I think we have to decide, is because it got a dollar rate, then plus the 3%.
Right.
So it gave it a $1.78 raise.
Yeah, because it was originally 50 cents, we thought that's
Actually, never mind, it's correct, it's $1.03. It's $1.03, so it's correct. I'm going that number off of the 25 there, so never mind, it's correct. And then, and vice versa. See what I got here for your calculation tables, which ones I got highlighted. I have so many in here.
So as you go year by year, are you looking at CPI to determine what the drop down is?
We would,
So that
so we
changes
would.
every year potentially.
It will change every, so a lot of people are getting confused with this. We think, well, this is what somebody, no, I did this so we can actually get the whole visual of how
Yeah.
somebody would move through their.
So you
career.
could have, like, this is a 2%, and this goes up to 3, this goes up to 5% just because
Yeah.
of what inflation is doing.
It could,
and
it very well could.
drops down to
It very well
1
could.
or whatever.
Very well could. I thought I had one for a new employee in here, like that started on January 1st. Really like our guy, and he did, we have one, the employee, if he started on January, he would, technically, he does this.
Go back to
walk
the one where
across.
you had the green.
This one?
Yeah. So basically what you're doing is, so this is the first year. Once that year's done, you can almost eliminate this part of the table.
Correct.
And it's gonna move up.
What's the side based on? What's this 2701 to 2809?
That's the longevity.
That should long,
Where did you come
so
up with the numbers?
those numbers came up because of the employees we currently had and where the pay we gave them, what we gave them last year,
Oh,
and
you
that's.
just average it or something.
And I plucked them in, and then I came up with the years of my own, but based off the numbers they were currently making and where they fell.
And I
Right
think,
now, you have one employee, he's sitting above that 20+ years, so after 20+ years, they're only gonna get the CPI raise. We got another employee, I think either 14 or 15. I think we gotta figure out exactly what number they are, and a couple of our ones that got hired mid-range, did they got started on a 3-year, or was it a 4-year,
yeah, I think.
questions like that.
It was brought up, we didn't go past 3 years of service. We wouldn't give somebody more than 3 years.
So
of service.
they're technically started at 3 years, so they're gonna go to year 4. and
So
then
if
year
you went to that one with the green on it, if you looked at 3 years, this is where we started that person at. So and the other person that had 10 years, well, one person had 8 years of experience, we started here. The other person had 10 years experience, or 20 years of experience, we started here. So the 3 years of service is all we'll give.
Oh,
So we hire somebody with experience.
And they're gonna do the same thing, and say, you're gonna do that start, they're not gonna get that dollar raise after the first year.
Right.
To me, you got a whole different tier system, and it's just like, and they're gonna just do their pluck down and walk across.
But obviously, that's gonna be the start of their.
Are you talking about this for everyone then, for
Public Works
for
is,
everyone?
Public Works is completely on board, which shocked a couple people.
What about the regular staff and stuff?
Sally's working on one. We'll just go back for my one spreadsheet.
so the only way anybody's they're getting a raise
So
for
very,
being here, but not so much on merit anymore.
No,
That's how
because
it used to be.
it's
right?
how it used to be, but the thing is, most employees are gonna be good employees. If they're not good employees, what are we doing? They're still gonna get their annual reviews, all that stuff and feedback. And this is a lot of that space, you're not gonna move over if you got a bad one. But we're
Oh,
anticipating.
you can do that.
Yes.
Yes, you can, because they're not unit, they're not.
Oh, yeah, right.
I didn't do anything.
I hope we're still recording that.
Go to, click on where the video is. Yep.
Yeah, we're still going. I guess I could have shared that in the screen, but.
That's okay.
It's okay.
So since that happened, I lost my track here. So this is what I was gonna adopt as what we would do for January 1st pay raise. That is if the CPI sticks it at 3%. We're going to have a cap. I think was 4% or 5% we talked about. I can't remember. So no matter what, the CPI comes in at 8%, it's gonna be capped at a max of like 4%.
Yeah,
And there's also gonna be a bottom number where we're not gonna do less than 1%.
right, yeah. There was a top of it, there's a bottom of it.
So which I liked. I didn't even thought about the bottom. That way you're still we're not getting, everybody's getting 8% raise, I'm sorry, we gotta keep it in line and tune that as well, and I believe that came from Chad, that's something like North Park Water Dogs or something like that, I can't remember, but Frank brought it up, and I like that concept. But this bracket here was,
The
everything
least
was
you
gonna
can
update.
get under the CPI is 1%. So if CPI drops below 1%, which I doubt that it will,
Was for almost a decade.
yeah, but,
Paying the
it can't.
price now.
Same with like front office, I just pretty much copied and pasted one of, or the other two in it, but this is something that we would go on, and then every their anniversary, people either move over, or they're gonna stay, so if you're a 3-year guy currently, or person, I should say, if you're a 3-year employee, and you're gonna go to your 4th year, you're not sliding over, you're gonna stay in that bracket.
You're just dropping down.
You're just dropping, you're just getting the CPI, so you're keeping that merit from escalating. 5% would have worked great for the next couple of years, because our employees were so far behind. But now since we bought them up, that's.
Yeah. See, and that's what became the problem is.
Yeah.
The raises are so minor, sometimes some years were 0, some years were 0.75%. And once you hit that, you start dropping down with surrounding areas.
For sure.
You can't compete for employees. And that's why we had such a big issue with trying to get that pay back up to where, but this will correct that, because every time a CPI is added, that will add on to the starting wage.
Well, that
and
was,
it'll keep moving it forward.
when I did my first budget, the salaries or whatever's left, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I did not condone that at all.
Yeah, well, and that was one of the things that were brought up in one of the meetings.
Another thing is, I know for advertisement now, we can do a salary range.
This stuff.
It can go from 56 to 38 to
Right.
78,000. So
Yeah.
now you got employee them out there looking at it, like, oh, okay, that's not bad. That's compared to before, it was just starting to pay.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. So I know Public Works is, when it comes down to tiers, we talked about tiers a little bit, which, only got one in here. That's the biggest amount of wheel that's screwing this up.
Yeah, I thought I saw one where you could borrow.
So Public Works has multiple tiers. Can you use a down arrow for me? See if my wheel is moving me off my page. So there you go. So this is how I talk about other tiers, multiple tiers, right? Oh, you're good. So you have an entry-level employee was the maintenance one. Maintenance 2 worker, little seasoned veteran, been here for a few years, has some credentials, has cert certificates and whatnot, and then your foreman. Kind of the same concept here. You can have your patrol officer as one, SRO as another, sergeant as another. Whatever you want to name them, that's how it's broke up.
And we talked about it, if you had a specialty like an SRO, there could be an actual added stipend beyond that, so you could get, say, $1 more an hour, but not based hourly, but it's based on a set amount for that for a year, so you get $200 from there because you are an SRO. I think the same thing works out with.
The water operator licensure, that's gonna be $3.
Like CDL.
Yeah, so, maintenance 2, you gotta have a CDL, Class B CDL license, and minimum like
So
3
it
years.
just ups the starting, it ups the whole scale.
It
if
ups
you
the whole
have
scale,
that.
yes. Basically what it is trying to get, so you had somebody coming in off the streets,
Right.
like 18 years old, 19 years old, you're not paying them $40 an hour, but also gives them incentive to get their CDL.
Right,
Now go get your water license, we're gonna
and
compensate.
they would go up that much.
And they would
if
go
got
up.
that.
$3 an hour, that's what, $3 an hour came for, because that's what Cherry Valley just gave all their guys with the water license. All 6 of their employees have municipal water license. So.
Pretty impressive.
That's the concept, that's pretty much how a lot of bargaining units do it. Bring it here, it brings it down, now it tames it, now they know, hey, 2 years from now, I can be making this, because when they're going elsewhere, I know he went over, imagine with the Trey Valley, he saw their pay scale, I could be a 3-year officer making $80,000 a year. Here, I don't know what I can be making in 2 years. Now that throws it in there that, hey, I like it here, I'm not that far off from what I could be making over there, and that's patrolman,
Yep. Makes sense conceptually.
Nice presentation.
Thanks, Chief, because I totally went off the rails there.
No, it's okay. You,
I
sometimes.
crashed, it's like, I'm lost right now, I lost
I think
myself.
you understand it so well that you go through it so
That
fast.
happens.
Yes.
That's why I said, let's slow down a little bit so
No,
we can
you
look
got
at
it.
it.
Well, hey, now you get it. You got
I know, I
you-
get it, it's just when you're sitting here trying to hear you explain it, you understand it so well and you go through it so fast, it's hard to catch sometimes.
I know our pre-station was way better admin meeting than OSU.
All right, ready to move on to SRO? Okay, so I asked this to be added on because it came up in finance. It's time to invoice the school. We didn't have it outlined. I looked through the MOU again. We didn't really state, we're gonna bill you on a fiscal year quarter, we're gonna bill you during the months of the school year.
I saw something here that said it would be billed at a minimum quarterly.
Well, yeah, but we didn't, I think that we have to bill them effective October 1st, basically a due date of October 1st, because we have July, August, and September, that's a quarter.
Okay.
Because their fiscal year starts
So
July 1.
He didn't start working for the school until August 21st.
Doesn't matter, it's gonna be their budget year, and their
Right.
budget year is gonna be July 1
So
to June
you're
30th.
only gonna bill,
And we have
So
to.
July will be on there for 0,
No.
August.
The annual fee that we said we were gonna charge them is $95,000. So I'm thinking it's gonna be 95,000 divided by 4 is what we bill them on October 1st. Remember, they're thinking of it in budget, so they're not looking at, he's giving me 12 hours, I'm giving them this.
How's his overtime then?
That's the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, is how is this overtime being tracked? Because according to the MOU, they get 30 hours of overtime
Right.
as part of the deal.
Yep.
So we have to, on the invoice, I think we have to say, this is for the first, whatever,
Right.
and this is the overtime so far.
I mean, we have a timesheet that he fills out every day.
And
For every day.
it does divide SRO, and all he's doing is SRO since October, or
Well,
since,
the 21st, yeah. So I went back and looked at his submitted timesheet since then. He's got 169 and a half hours. So basically, in the first 2 weeks of his pay that he's working there, he's worked an hour and a half of overtime
total.
so far. Now, the next pay period that ends the end of this month on the 30th, he's gonna have quite a bit more because number one, he had the homecoming football game. And he had the homecoming dance was the following Saturday. So now he's working with John too, and he asked John, he says, hey, I'm gonna start accruing some overtime. How do you want me to work it? You want me to come in, you want me to kind of shave some of this off and come in a little bit later in the day on a Monday? Or what do you want to do? The first week, he says, yeah, can you cut off some of that time? Well, this pay period that he's in currently, he asked John that. John said, no, let it go. Because I believe he sees that those hours were considered in the contract as going to be covered as overtime.
Yeah.
Because that's the homecoming football game, which was included.
That's why it was 30 hours. They based it off certain events that he was
Yeah.
gonna be at.
There were
And that was,
There were 10 events. It was varsity football, varsity basketball, homecoming, and prom, I believe it was. So if you counted up the number of football games, basketball games, homecoming dance, and prom, it ended up 10 days. So I added those hours together, what we considered was gonna be the hours he would be there, and it came up to 30 hours, I think it was.
See, what I can envision on the invoice is saying, putting a 30-hour overtime bank, hours used this quarter,
Yep.
X, and then I have no idea how much detail he'll want. Will he want to know what hours those were, what days they were? I don't know. So this is all going to be trial and error, I
If
guess.
he wants to see timesheets, I can provide him, number one, I can provide him timesheets that Jeff turned in. He also has a log sheet that he fills out every day.
Yeah, the district or here?
No, it's here. I can get dispatch logs to where when he signs in, he goes 1041, it catalogs it up there. When he gets a call or get a call for service while at the school, it'll log that, and then at the end of the day, when he signs out, it'll have a timestamp on it. When he wants to do that. But Jeff's not gonna lie on his timesheet, number one. If he was there, he's gonna put his hours on his timesheet. Because I know there are meetings they want him to go to, that he's been attending, and he's just been shaving time off another day.
And they've got an understanding going
Yep,
back.
and that's how Jeff and John are working it, and Jeff will ask me, he says, I am getting some more time accrued here, what do you want me to do? First, like I said, the first pay period, he said, shave a little bit off, come in a couple hours later on a Monday or something. But this last one, like I said, because it involved the 2 days too, details that they wanted, I'm sure you just said, no, let it go, because that's included with what we had accrued.
So it might be helpful to them if we could every month just say overtime's used so far, or some way to communicate back and
Yeah.
forth, so that he doesn't, I mean,
I mean, because
30 hours is a lot.
he's based on working 84 hours in a 2-week period, just like any other patrol officer, because he can't basically go into overtime until he hits the 84, because that's the way it's scheduled for us. So he has to work just like you would a patrol person, that 84 hours before he can get overtime. And that's how it was figured in. It's figured on an 84-hour work schedule.
42 hours. Yeah,
Yep.
42 hours a week.
And then,
Is that legal?
yeah, he's a police officer. You can do that 84 hours. And you figure it's only 2 hours.
So they're technically salary.
No,
Not
no,
really, because he wouldn't get paid overtime.
they have what do you have? You have a 36 and a 4, what are your 2 weeks?
36 and 48.
36 and 48. And what part of this whole thing, which Jeff signed up for, was these hours would be 42, 42. It's still the same number of hours in a 2-week period, it's just.
Because even when we work the week of 48, you don't get overtime for the 8.
Oh, and that's why I asked, it's salary. I mean, I average 53 hours a week. And
So, I'm glad that he's communicating really well with
Oh, yeah.
John. There was something in the, in this SRO thing, it said that, actually, it says that they should work a minimum of 40 hours a week.
Well, but then somewhere else, I believe it says 84.
There was something about, supplying a 1-month calendar in advance. Are they doing that, or do they care?
That's through Jeff. Jeff is supposed to supply that to them. If he is, I don't know. Because it's hard to do because they have staff meetings at different schools on different dates, and Jeff tries to get to all of them. So I don't know how, because sometimes those dates don't come out when those staff meetings are occurring, like 2 weeks before. So how can you
Yeah,
predict?
do a 1-month schedule.
How can you go on 1 month schedule if you don't know when you meet?
So maybe could we, can you on 9:30 then, shortly after there, get Sally the information on how many overtime hours that he's worked so far, so that she can create an invoice that'll say, you have a 30-hour bank, these are the hours used so far, and then we'll try out the invoice, and if Schwoka says, I want more detail than this, we'll figure it out. It's gonna be kind of a trial and error, I think.
Yeah, if he wants, we can go into detail, because I can go back on his log sheet, and it'll detail what he did.
So who knows how much he wants, I think. Okay, I just wanted to, we've got to get an invoice out, so like I said.
Yeah, I knew that was.
9:30 would be the end of a pay period anyway, right?
Right.
So.
How often do we invoice? I was just trying.
It's, we have an MOU that it'll be quarterly,
Once, I
Would it
think
be
it's a
easier-
minimum quarterly. I think you could do it more often if you wanted.
and why would we bother doing the extra administrative hassle?
Did you,
But they don't pay for the summer. Sorry.
Well, I think we're gonna pay, and I might just drop
Or
Schroeder an email, because
just-
my thought, just from a budget mind, is
Just
even though the
even it
school
out.
year is 9
Yeah,
months,
yeah.
you're looking at a fiscal budget, which is 12. So I thought we would just charge them.
Yeah, there it is, on page 4 of 11,
Yeah, I saw where it said.
timekeeping, SRO shall advise, holidays. The SRO must account for the 84 hours each pay period. And that's against what? 40 hours.
Yeah, somewhere else it
I
said
was
a
up,
minimum.
I was up farther. I was on page 3.
Well, that's not necessarily a contradiction, because it says 84 per pay period, it says a minimum of 40 a week.
Right.
So if you do 40, then you have to do 44 the next.
Yeah.
pay period.
So yeah, that takes care of that. What I was gonna bring up, I know Sally was talking about for reimbursement for the car.
Mhm.
She talked about doing that all before the end of this year.
No, I told her, no,
Okay.
you can't do that.
I mean, that's what she brought to me, so I said, I kinda went,
Yeah, I think there was a little misunderstanding. We did talk about that finance, though. I
Okay.
said, I think you just have to spread 95,000 over 4 quarters. payments. And then the obviously if we get over 30 hours of overtime, then there's gonna be more than a quarter of that.
Yep, and I will, and Sally she'll know exactly, what Jeff's overtime hours for any pay period is, so.
All right, so I think we're good with that, as long as you track overtime, get it to Sally, and then we'll do the invoice and we'll keep it check. Moving on, are any questions there, guys, SRO? Static automated license plate readers, I'm not sure whose topic that is.
That's mine. So the thought process here is, if you know what an automated license plate reader is, LPR is for short. They're static locations where automated license plate readers are located that read license plates as they pass by. So this technology actually started in England anyway, so it came to the United States probably in the early 2000s. The technology has grown so much and the database has grown so much. So basically what you can do is you can take one of these readers, put it along a street, properly placed, it'll read every license plate that goes by. So if there's a wanted subject, suspended, revoked, a missing person, anything that is attached to that license plate, an alert of any sort, that reader would read that plate and alert our agents. So what I would like to do, I originally thought about 2 of these, but after I thought about it, I thought 4 would be better. So 4 would cover everything coming in off of 20, coming into the village, and everything going out to 20 from the village. 2 others would be down on Cunningham Road, because this is the most highly trafficked roads. And 1 would be for eastbound traffic, 1 would be for westbound traffic. Where particularly, I'm not sure if they would be more towards the outer boundaries, or if they're in towards Elijah Street, where when you come to the intersection, whatever. So I looked at the cost of these, they're about $3,000 per camera per year.
Per year, it's a subscription type thing now?
Yes. So they install it, and most of them you can get set up so they're run off solar, so you don't have to have a power supply. So you can power them by battery, but then obviously the battery has to recharge. The solar power I think would be best, because just like our speed sign up here, it powers itself. So a couple examples is, about a year and a half ago, I got a call from a Chicago Police Department sergeant. And he says, hey, we got a license plate reader hit at the mobile in Winnebago. And I said, I don't know how that is, because we don't have it. Well, there are commercial vehicles like repossessors that have these devices on their vehicles. Because what they do is they drive around, and as they drive around, if they get an alert, they don't get alerts like we do for wanted and, suspended roads, mystery. They get hits on vehicles that are to be repossessed.
The repo man.
So they get a hit on a car, they hook it up, and they take it. Well, it also integrates in with the law enforcement side of it. They don't see the alerts, but we do. So he calls me and says, okay, we had to hit the mobile. He says, well, the car associated with that license plate was hijacked in Chicago, and it was involved in a homicide. Okay. So he wants me to go down and get all the video. That's fine. So I go down there and I watch the video. There's nothing to be seen. The only thing you can see is the headlights of the vehicle as it turns in front of the camera. Because the only outside camera at the time the mobile had was on the diesel pump. And that's where the truck was that had the readers on it. He was at the diesel pump and the car came in behind on the east side of the regular pumps and went right out. So the camera never caught the vehicle and you could only see the flash of the headlights. I watched the cameras inside the store. There's a 40-minute gap from the time the license plate hits to where anybody comes into the store. So I don't see anybody's gonna sit out in their car for 40 minutes. So I told him that, he says, okay, we didn't have anything. But City of Rockford, Winnebago County are using these currently. Well, City of Rockford, this county does not, are using these, and they are getting stolen vehicles, missing, all that stuff, all those hits, and they're taking action on these vehicles.
Obviously, it would have, say, take that same scenario and we did have them, it would have alerted you, it obviously
We have,
much
yes,
quicker.
if they would have entered that into the system as being involved in a vehicular hijacking and a homicide, yes, if we saw that hit, it would have came to our terminals in our computer, and
And
we
an
would have read
officer would
that,
know right away,
we would have known right away that it was there.
where this guy had to call you. to
Right,
tell you.
and this was days afterwards.
Oh,
Yeah, so it wasn't like it happened that day.
So they were just trying to get the camera footage to see if they're getting it.
Yeah. As well as, so if you have a crime that's committed in a certain place, let's, example, Dollar General gets robbed. You have these cameras set up, like I say, at the corner. You have the specific time the robbery occurred. You can go back and look at the history of those cameras for a distance, whatever you want, 15 or 20 minutes, half an hour before and after the crime was committed. And you can get every plate, every car that went by those cameras at that time. Now you have an investigative tool to go back on and say, now we're gonna start investigating every plate, every vehicle, and see where it leads us. Because they're doing that with shootings and stuff in Rockford, they're doing it in other cities. In fact, the state police was having all these interstate shootings, and they weren't able to catch anybody. Well, they put a lot of these up on the interstates around Chicago, and they still had shootings that were happening. But now, they're making arrests on them because the LPR readers are reading those plates, and they're able to go back and investigate the cars involved and make arrests on that. So, that's the idea. I would like to do 12,000 a year, but my also other thought process is approaching the businesses here in town. You know, the banks, 3 of them, your retail businesses, Dollar General, Family Dollar, your Culver's, your Taco Bell, your McDonald's, your Road Ranger, your Mobile, your Subway, and say, hey, will you commit to a donation to the village for 3 to 5 years? Could be a small amount, could be $500, could be $100, whatever they want to do. Just have them commit to that. And just say, hey, you know, this technology is going to help you if something happens at your store. We're going to have, you know, maybe we don't have anything without the LPR, but with the LPR, we're at least going to have a chance of maybe getting something off of a vehicle that's gone by. I mean, because sometimes, okay, they have a black male, but they got to do a brown car, but don't know which way it went, don't know the license plate number. Well, this way, we'll be able to go back and look at every car that goes by these readers and say, oh, there's a brown car, there's a plate on it. Okay, now we've got at least an investigative lead to go after. So what I'm thinking, if we can get the bigger businesses, like I said, the banks, the retail businesses to buy into this, we could probably cut that cost. I'm hoping to where the village will pay about $3,000. That's the
I think
idea.
they would, I mean, their tax dollars in their mind is supposed to be for this.
Well, yeah, but their tax dollars are doing that, but they have a higher volume of a chance to be a victim in those matters. And I'll give them the scenarios that I've explained to you, you know, how they solve crimes. And I can go back, in fact, I wrote an article early today about LPRs and how effective they are. And I can get somebody from one of the companies we would go to get them from to give us explanation as to what it is, what they do.
Sounds reasonable to me. Do we need what do you need in my, where do you think the Cunningham? I mean,
I
I
think
would
he's
think that
trying to get
corners.
the major entrances and exits to the town,
Right,
right?
but where are you thinking on Cunningham?
Well, I mean, it's either gonna be at one end or the other, because you'd have to have 16 or 20 cameras in the village to get every entrance to the village. Get the high traffic areas, because a lot of times, my thought process is you get criminals that will avoid 20 because it's heavily traveled by state police. They'll use a back road. So if they commit a crime in Freeport or Rockford and going either way, Cunningham might be one of their routes.
We see it weekly. There's a rodeo that happens outside of Bethtown. It's pretty rad.
Every Sunday.
And
That's
where they're coming from. Yeah, and they constantly.
They'll avoid 20 because 95% of the time, when they're going there, they're sober. When they leave, they're and they use Cunningham Road.
So there's gotta be a hardware cost too, right? I mean, so there's a hardware and a software subscription?
No, the $3,000 covers all that. It covers, my understanding of it is it covers the installation of the cameras, the cost of the cameras, and we have access to the database. We're gonna have access to the database anyway because our Motorola body cams and in-car cameras, the in-car cameras are gonna be LPRs, so are the body cams, is my understanding.
So.
So we could take our body camera off our body and take it around, if we had a aggravated battery, we don't know who the suspect is. And there's a bunch of cars around. Maybe the suspect ran away, but he drove there. We could walk around with a body cam, and each license plate that's in the area, we can point that to that, and it will record it. So we can go back on and say, okay, these are the cars that were there, our suspect is now so-and-so. So the technology's there. Our in-car cameras are also LPR readers. We have new camera systems that we got the upgrade. So when we drive around, it'll also alert us. But these static ones will put us in a place where we can't be all the time. I talked to the sheriff.
You get a speed limit sign that does the same thing.
I was just
They go to
thinking
the license
that.
plate, can you get the speed limit sign to do the same thing? You know, put it right there as they're going down. Maybe FedEx truck gave me, FedEx truck this morning gave me a big
The
old,
technologies are mixed yet.
FedEx truck gave me a triangle this morning when I was on the phone. No, link, triangle,
Really?
over 45 miles an hour.
So, but I talked to the sheriff, and the sheriff, Winnebago County is looking to get like 16 of them. And I said, hey, you know, let me know where you go with it, because I'm interested in doing it. And the idea was kind of go in with them to maybe, we probably won't get a better price, but at least we'd be linked in with their separate, all systems will be linked anyway, but just buy them all together. I don't know if we'll be able to do that because he has to have an answer, I think, by the end of October. I don't know if we'll be able to. Because that's gonna be a budgeting issue for 2024.
Well, I was gonna say, did you put them in the budget for 2024?
I did.
You did?
I put 12,000 in the budget. So that's basically that spiel.
No, I think it makes a whole lot of sense. I think we're getting more troubles in the corner, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Sense that-
there are things going down there that we don't know about because we're not always there. You know, some guys go down there and, you know, run license plates. I mean, I used to do it all the time. I used to go in there, sit for 20 minutes, and cars come in there, run license plates. Okay, you get a spinner book, you don't want a person. It's just, they're just easy. But how many are coming and going in and out of there when we're not down there?
But these are automatically then alerting me when something hits, it's automatically somehow.
Yep, they alert
Giving
us,
you, right?
through our vigilant system, the flock system, it would automatically alert us that it's in the area.
Well, and aside from having that here in the village, then we have access to the entire network. So I would say we are looking for a vehicle wanted in the
You
other
put
case.
that out there and they.
I type in the plate number and it'll say it hit at Auburn and Central.
And you can't do that now.
No,
Well,
we have
I
access.
have access to Rockford's criminal analyst that has access to the system.
Yeah, you have a workaround.
I have somebody that will give me the information I'm looking for. So, because I've had vehicles that I'm looking for, and I would call her and ask her, hey, can you check flock for me to see where this plate's been hitting there? And she'll give me that information.
And-
But it's much easier for us to get it if we had access, and we're gonna have access to this anyway. Because as soon as we get our system set up through Motorola, that's gonna give us access to flock and vigilant and all that stuff.
Well, and it's nice too, because 2 months ago, I stopped a vehicle on North Elida. They contacted the driver, gave his driver's license, and then left. So I contacted a trooper who I know and said, hey, I need you to put this vehicle in the LPR system as wanted for fleet. Within seconds, he's like, all right, here you go. Every trooper in the state now knows that he's wanted for fleet.
And since we've signed up with Motorola, we're getting requests from all over the country to give them access to our LPR data. I mean, for some strange reason, a lot of them are coming out of Texas.
I know.
I don't understand that. But there's a lot of them coming from Texas, and we're just accepting them all. We'll share whatever we have. So
I've already, every agency in Illinois, I already said you can have any data that you.
we don't care. I mean, because it's gonna help them solve a crime once we get ours up.
Vice
and running,
versa.
it's fine.
Vice versa.
Mhm.
You know,
It automatically creates an MOU for every agency that we agree to and agrees with us.
And they have access to us, and we have access to theirs.
man, it's watching.
All right,
Your brother's watching.
let's, get it in the budget for 2024 and make sure.
I got it.
Monthly crime statistics.
There.
No comments or questions? All right, Chief, you're up.
I don't really have a whole lot. The whole thing was with this, LPR was my big thing for this. We do have Squad 123 back. It's all equipped. The radio in it that we got from Motorola, bought new, has to be programmed. That's gonna happen in the next couple of days. I've made contact with our graphics people. They're putting that graphics package together. I'm just waiting for a sample to come back to me to see what it is, because I want to add the school district's W on the squad car. We have Bax Tees over here who was doing a lot of the graphics for school clothing and stuff, but nobody had a vectored file you could use for something like that if you want to make it bigger or smaller, it stays clear. I finally got that from them, at no cost to us. I sent that off to the graphics company. And they're gonna size that down. I told them to subdue it so it's like the rest of the car. It's not bright, but I still want like a burnt orange. There's orange and white in it and black. I still want to keep it subdued like everything else is, and I want to put it on both sides of the car, front fender, behind front tire. So she's putting that together to give me a sample, and once we get that going, she says, you sent me an email back, she says, well, is this for a future car, or do we have the car? Because she wants to get it set up already with their installer. I said, we have the car, so as soon as the design is approved, we can bring the car out to you and you can put it on. And the whole idea is to put that W on all our other cars as well.
Oh, really?
It's not gonna be that much.
I'm not worried about the cost. I thought you were doing that to the SRO car.
I did, but it may end up happening where that car gets rotated in and out. So if they see the car with the same logo on it, and they all look the same, the only one that would be different would be the Tahoe. So any three of those cars could be, I don't want to be stuck with one car and having to be up there all the time.
Yeah.
So if it rotates in and out, because that car's gonna have the least mileage, it's probably gonna be driven the least, because he drives it up there, maybe back to the canvases and stuff. So I want to be able to rotate it into the rest of the fleet to give some of those other ones a break. Oh, that one has the new in-car camera plate in it already. And when Motorola comes out October 10th through 12th, they'll program it for the body cameras and the system for the LPR reader.
So we should have body cams up and running by the end of October.
Anything new on the grant?
No, I checked it just the other day and still just says submitted. So no news is good news.
Did you know if money's flowing yet?
No, I don't. I do know that, according to Jeff Schelling at ITAB, they're gonna be opening next year's body cam, grant opportunity, so we can apply for that. Because it's a reimbursement, so we can still submit for it.
Yeah, for some reason we were denied for this year. We can resubmit everything.
We were denied?
No, I'm just saying if we were,
Oh.
you still have the opportunity to apply for this coming one.
But could you apply anyway since we're in a multi-year thing, or if we get this 30 grand, is that gonna be all we're gonna be able to get?
That would be all.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
so it's a one and done kind of deal.
if we don't hear anything back,
Get what you asked for.
Yeah, I know.
if we don't hear back and they open it up again, I will.
Just because I saw it in the minutes, the towing stuff, do we need to talk about that?
No, because of my limited ability, because I'm trying to do everything myself while he's been out.
Oh, sure.
It's kind of set on the back burner. I have agreements already, I've gone through Mary, I have agreements for both, Greater Rockford Auto Auction and Hobby Towing to switch that over to those two companies. I just haven't had an opportunity to get them out to them so they can look over them and have them look over them and stuff, so. Yeah, that's the whole idea, is to eventually go to them, and take those two them, and I just haven't had a chance. With requests for reports and getting moving cars here to there and getting equipment put in, yeah, it's just too much. He knows, he did it for 10 weeks.
It's not,
Okay.
Is it more fun than being in the hospital though?
It is actually, I'm a fan.
All right, was that it for you?
Yes, I'm done.
Any new business? All right, items for the board meeting then, we're gonna have the,
UTV ordinance?
UTV ordinance application permit, all coming to vote, I believe. I think there is some cleanup that has to be done, like we have to accept the changes and all that, so we'll have to get the official to get into the packet, but if you could bring it up that it's from committee.
And you're going to get
Yep.
married?
Yep.
So say it's going to the board meeting. She wanted me to make sure she did that. So she could make a final.
Oh, okay, so she,
Yeah, because we want to change the language in that one item about the partnership, right?
yeah,
Just the language.
Thank you. And that's the only thing going to the board.
Yeah, I think that's it for now.
We didn't-
so,
I didn't hear anything else. I was
yeah.
waiting.
Because the step pay proposal is still at the admin
Yeah.
stage, right? Admin level.
For the most part. I mean, I think it's a done deal on, well, it's just finalizing numbers. If you're happy with your numbers, I guess you just need some answers on some of your employees and what number, what step and year they are. And
Sure.
you fill in that blank, I mean, that's right.
Perfect.
That, like I said, that's also based off 3%. So I think they're gonna pull that number for, I think she was, salary was due in October, just so we weren't doing it last minute. It'll be done October every year then. So.
Okay, so just all those pieces, the permit, the application, the indemnification, and ordinance.
I just put UTV packet.
Yeah, that's all.
All right, no executive session, next meeting date, the last
October
Wednesday.
25th, 2023 at 5:30 PM.
Got that?
And what?
10:25.
Nope,
All right, motion for adjournment.
I won't work for me, just so you're
What's that?
25th won't work for me. Sorry. I can do the 24th, Tuesday.
See, that messes up though, because everybody's trying to get on the last one. You almost have to go the week before if you're gonna do that.
I mean, you could do it,
Because I'm trying to-
I'm on shift, is all. So, you guys can keep it, I mean, I get, try and work around me, but I got that stupid goofy schedule where it's kind of hard to work around, so.
Because I'm trying to get Thursdays now. I like what you're doing, so I'm gonna put community development Thursdays.
Well, whatever works for you guys, I'm good for. I mean, I've got
Oh, I won't.
really nothing in that, around that time.
You won't be here either, 25th?
No.
No, pretty much.
Would you get go the 25th?
Yeah, I've got prep for.
If you put it the week before, that's always open, Julie, I think.
I have finance. I have finance on the 18th.
Oh, really?
It's on my calendar.
You just want to do it TBA for now and figure it out?
Let's leave it the 25th for now, and if we have a real light agenda, just go for it.
Yeah.
If there's anything meaty, we'll.
Just to see what my schedule looks like. Where I'm at. I can always phone call at any time.
I'm gonna be having a lot more finance meetings as budget season's starting, so. I don't know if that's a budget one I can differentiate. So let's just go with the 25th, and then, like I said, if it's a light schedule, agenda,
That's fine.
if there's something that we really wanna reschedule, then we will. All right, do we have a motion to?
He did it,
I'll make a motion.
and then I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
7:10?
Thank you,
Yeah, I've got
7:09.
7:09. Perfect. Thank you, everyone.
Alan, can you hit the record?
And we're trying to get them all split up.
Gotcha.